All right, hello everybody. Eric Marks here with FindingMiddle-earth.com, and today we're at a not my usual setup here. On the ground, on my knees in my office here, with this table. We're going to set up a little autofocus speed test between the Nikon D810 and the Fuji X-T2. So the Fuji is going to be sporting the Fujinon 35mm f2 prime lens, and that's a 50mm equivalent, okay, on the 35mm end. Okay, so technically I should be using a 50mm on the D810. However, I have the 16-35 on the D810 racked all the way at 35. The reason why I'm not using the 50mm on the D810 is because the 50mm Nikkor lens is one of the slowest autofocusing lenses in the entire Nikkor lineup. I mean, it is slow. It's okay in good light, but in bad light, like we're doing now, because we're doing a low light autofocus test, it just wouldn't be fair because that lens is just terrible. So I made sure I have my 16-35 f4 VR. I have the VR turned off, okay, because this lens doesn't have any kind of VR or OIS. We're going to rack both lenses to, let's see, this one only shoots at f4, so we'll put this one on f4. All right, I'll turn this on. So both lenses are going to be at f4 because that's the maximum aperture of this one. And then we'll have them both on aperture priority, and then we'll just shoot from there. And I'm just going to be shooting at these little Nikon boxes. These are the little Nikon hot shoe things to go in the hot shoe to keep the water out. So anyway, I'm just going to be shooting at these boxes, and then we'll switch it up in a minute and put a couple of other little props in there to shoot at. And then you guys can just, hear I have the autofocus beep, the beep noise on both of these cameras, so you guys can see how good or bad it is at focusing. Okay, so the light is pretty bad in here. It's pretty low light. Let me just give you an example. So if I go on my ISO here down to say 200 ISO at f4, this is giving me, let's see, a 1.3 second exposure. So that's actually pretty darn slow. So it's definitely low light. So I'm actually going to pump up the ISO till we get a good enough shutter speed here, at least 100th of a second. I'm just going to crank this lens wide open, honestly. I'm just going to go down to f2 on this lens because this lens is wide open all the way, so I'm going to make this one wide open. We'll make it ISO 6400, and we'll do the same with the D810. We'll go to ISO 6400. Actually, we'll go to 12,800 on this one because we're at f4 on this one and we're at f2 on this one. Okay, so we got our camera set. They're both at roughly 100th of a second shutter speed, okay? And then we're just going to autofocus test these on these little boxes here. I'm going to move them a little further back. I want one kind of close, and I want one further back. And it's very even lighting in this office. I just have an overhead light here. Okay, that's just shining down. We'll put the Nikon D810 over here for a second. All right, and we're going to commence our autofocus test. So here we go. Aperture priority, ISO 6400. The aperture is on f2. I'm using the center, only the center single point autofocus, which I'm going to do on the D810 as well. And let's get this going. All right, ready? Foreground, background, foreground, background. Okay, and this is very low lighting. Remember, at ISO 200 here, f4 is giving me over a second exposure, and it's still only giving me 160th of a second at ISO 6400, so it's dark in here, according to cameras and their sensors. So that is fast. I mean, that's good enough for anybody. That's really fast. So I'm gonna turn this camera off, set it over here. We'll bring in the D810, all right, and ISO 12,800 f4. The VR is off, so that way it does not slow down the focusing in any way. And let's see, single point autofocus in the center, and here we go. I was hunting a little bit there. It always hunts when I come back to that foreground. There we go. Okay, so just from shooting these here, let's do this again. Okay, foreground, background, foreground. And we'll move this a little closer because, so again, since that X-T2 was like a 50mm equivalent, we'll move this a little closer to the lens. Okay. It's hunting. There we go. Okay. So, in my opinion, hunting, it always hunts a little bit there in the front, just a little bit, and then it'll just laser lock there. Okay, so in my opinion, they're very comparable, and most people would, think that a $3,200 DSLR, 36 megapixel monster here, would blow this out of the water, this tiny little thing. But this is very comparable. So you guys just heard the D810 again. Let's fire this off again here. Okay. It would help if I had my camera turned on, wouldn't it? I mean, this might even be just a tad faster. And this isn't as scientific as we can get with the testing, but I mean, I have tried and owned the Sony a7R II, the Sony a6000, the Sony a7 II. I've tried the Olympus OMD cameras. I've tried the Panasonic G7. This just kills all of them. It's because of the low light. Now, in amazing lighting in the middle of the day, I'm sure most cameras these days are going to be really comparable because you have harsh sun over your head, and it's going to be very easy for any camera to focus. Okay, so that's not what we're doing. We're doing a low. I mean, this is a low light office right now. This is very low. I have my video camera that's recording me here. I have the gain cranked so far up just to pick this up as a decent exposure because I don't have my normal 2 video lights going on. I just have one back off in the distance that's just bouncing off of the ceiling, but it is very, very dark in here. So what we'll do now, okay, just to make it even darker, is, here we go, here's my video light. We're gonna kill video light, like all light coming this way at all. Even though it's not really coming on this, it's just kind of side lighting it. We're gonna kill it. So now it's very dark. It's even darker, okay? So we're gonna redo this test. All right, here we go. Fuji X-T2, here we go. Oh, it hunted a little bit there. Oh, I took a picture. Here, let me back up. There we go. I think I had it too close because the minimum focus distance for the lens there. It's hunting a little bit in the front now. Okay. I mean, it's hesitating a little bit more in the front now, but you have to understand how dark it is in this room right now. I mean, it is dark in here, okay? I mean, this is just, I am very impressed. This is the first test that I've done with this camera. Let me make the focus, make sure the focus point is as small as I can get it. Yep, it's on the single point. I mean, are you guys hearing this? I mean, that's nuts. I mean, this is a very, very dark room. This is like dark wedding reception conditions. It's not going to be as dark as that because sometimes those are just completely lights off. But it is very dark. And this is the Fuji X-T2 mirrorless camera, guys. Come on. I mean, this is these cameras are closing the gap here. So, you know, so many people, are Fuji cameras or mirrorless cameras good for weddings? The Fuji camera, yeah, I'd recommend it. I would never in a million years ever recommend a mirrorless camera before for wedding photography. I would recommend this camera. For portraits, weddings, events, whatever you want to do, this camera has blazing fast autofocus. So you just heard it, okay? So let's set it over here, bring back in the Nikon, and I can only assume that the Nikon's probably going to hunt a little bit now as well in the front, okay? Let's bring this a little closer again since we're on 35 millimeter on this one versus the 50 mil equivalent on that. So we're about the same field of view. Ready? Go. Hunted a little bit there in the front. Hunting, there we go. Hunted. Okay, so, I mean, there you go. That, very, very comparable. Again, okay, there's, I can't tell a huge difference in between both cameras. I mean, I think they're both just stellar cameras, okay? I'm not here to compare them saying that one's better than the other. I still have both. I don't have any intentions of selling my Nikon gear, okay? Let me turn my video light back on. That would be nice. There we go. I don't have any intentions of selling my Nikon gear at all and going full mirrorless, of course, unless, you know, Fuji, the X-T2 has like 50 megapixels or something. You never know. But I mean, I just think this is a killer setup to have a Nikon and a Fuji. But I gotta be honest, I haven't found a reason in the past 2 weeks to pull this guy out of the camera bag yet. This 24 megapixel X-Trans sensor is just magic. I mean, the image quality side by side with the Nikon, I really can't tell that much of a difference, which is whack because this is 24 megapixels and this is 36 megapixels. This has just got a wicked little sensor in it. I mean, I don't know what kind of deal Fuji signed with the devil, but their sensors are just crazy. I mean, I've done a, and I'll make a video on this. I looked at these files from the Fuji camera at 300% in Lightroom, okay? 3-to-1 view, just flawless. I mean, just flawless. Of course, it's not as sharp as it would be at a 100%, but I mean, I can read like the text on my shirt, and like I took a picture of a sign when I did the last landscape photography vlog. I did a 300% view, and I can read all this stuff. I mean, the pixels just don't fall apart on this. I mean, this is just a crazy camera. So, do I shoot landscapes with this? Yes. Will I continue shooting landscapes with this? Yes. The next test is going to be printing. I'm going to order a 20x30 large print from the Fuji file, the raw file that I processed in Photoshop and Lightroom. And I'm going to show that on camera when it gets here. I already ordered it, by the way. I ordered it of the waterfall shot that I took on my last landscape photography vlog. Not the waterfall, it's a little creek. And it's got some tricky lighting in it, so it's got kind of a dynamic range situation going on, but I only took one shot, I didn't bracket. So I just want to see how the 20x30 print, you know, portrays the light, because these sensors record light beautifully. So I want to see how it works on print, and you guys saw the autofocus test. And I mean, it's just with this low light office and the autofocus, it's amazing how comparable this is to a DSLR, if it's not better in certain situations, which I could never find a mirrorless camera that could beat a DSLR, ever. This one can, ladies and gentlemen. The Fuji X-T2 can beat a DSLR in autofocus. I hope this helps some of you. If you're on the fence thinking about getting an X-T2, just do it. Just do it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you would like to stay up to date on all of my latest photography videos and adventures, click the big subscribe button below. And if you would like to find out more about me and how to become a great photographer, visit my website at findingmiddleearth.com.